What up, everybody? It's your homie Big Sam. I appreciate you all joining me on this journey in this quest as I've been going up and down all around and exploring life and all this other good shit. So I just found out something on my little website, something I can do all my videos and start putting my full-length videos on my website, www.bigsampresents.com. BIGSAMPRESENTZ. Just like you're reading the name of this podcast, bigsampresents.com. You will find my full-length videos and additional content. As I get my band, I post dates and shit up there, and behind-the-scenes shit, and the different things I get to explore and see, and concerts I go to, and all kind of cool stuff. So check me out, www.bigsampresents.com. Vibe with me. With so much content whizzing around out there, there's only one storytelling platform that helps you keep calm, stay informed, and inspired. Flipboard. Flipboard curates the world's stories so that you can be smarter in your work, life, and play. Choose from thousands of topics to personalize Flipboard. And get the latest stories from the best publishers and experts delivered to you 24/7. When you see stories that you want to save or share, tap the plus button, add them to your private or public collection. It's that simple. Used by millions of people every single day, Flipboard is how people move themselves and the world forward. Get started now at flipboard.com. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get my podcast off the ground, Big Sam Presents Raw, I had lots of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? Well, the answers to every one of those questions is very simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast. Yo, it is a dope platform. Mad easy. You just use your iPhone or your smartphone or your computer. Record, press record. You don't even need to buy a mic or nothing. Upload the joint, put a little bit of literature in there for your description, send it out, share it with people, collect money. So if you always wanted to start your own podcast, making money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. All right, to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. ANCHOR.FM/START. Can't wait to connect with you. Vibe with me. Record myself. Okay is relative, I guess.
Right? You're right.
I am okay. I got some. My ways of thinking is not right.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
My perspective is just very negative.
Okay.
As much as I want to be, in my mind, want to be positive, I don't look at things in a positive way.
I got you.
I see it now. I understand it now. And, okay, I want to associate with people. And I put a lot of energy for the call.
Okay.
And I'm getting responses.
Okay.
And it's like, get the fuck away from me.
You are or they are?
I am.
Okay.
Asking for people to connect with me.
And they respond to you, and then you're kind of
like, get away from me.
Gotcha.
I want to be alone. And then while I'm alone, I'm like, damn, I'm sick of being alone.
Gotcha. Now, what typically triggers the get away from me response? Is it just because it's people, or you're like, you find out what they're about, and you're like, that ain't really what I'm wanting to hang out with?
Sometimes it's not that good vibe at the beginning.
Okay.
It's like
that first impression isn't good.
It's not even the first impression. Is if I don't get excited about you, then I just don't get excited about you.
I gotcha. Like there's no chance at that point.
No, it's not that there's no chance. It's just if I'm not excited, I'm not gonna. It's hard for me to put energy in stuff that I'm not excited about.
Okay, I gotcha.
And then so sometimes I mess up relationships.
Okay.
Like there's a bass player that reached out to me last year, I think, and I rejected him off of some bullcrap.
Okay.
Come to find out, his band. I went and heard his band play last weekend. They played the exact music that I've been wanting to play, and their singers are the exact type of women I would want in my band. So if I would have just connected with the dude,
right,
I would be in a much better situation as relates to music. I could be, I don't know.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. I could be. But he and I bumped heads on, well, it's not that we bumped heads, but on social media, we don't get along.
I gotcha.
And
have y'all hung out in person?
no, we've never met. The only interaction we've had is on social media, him telling me how much he don't like me.
Ah.
He used to invite me to shit.
Okay.
I never went.
Okay.
And then he started talking about, I don't like you, da-da-da-woo-woo. And I'm like, bro, I don't even reach out to you, man. Why?
Right.
So I think we should talk.
Right.
It's like a pull from both directions.
Right.
And I see it now, but I'm just saying I could have avoided this shit. I wasted time. Like, suppose me and him meet and we turn out to be the bestest of friends. He's a bassist, right? And I'm a drummer.
Right.
So suppose we end up being the bestest of friends, right?
Uh-huh.
We could have started this shit a year ago.
Right, and been that much further along.
But the way I interact with people is just so fucked up. I'm fucking up relationships.
I hear you.
Or potential relationships.
And that's something you want to change? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, come on, man.
Right.
I'm a damn icon, man. I don't need to be rejecting people.
Right. So how often are you getting out? Like, are you typically at home most of the time? Like, 'cause you said you went and saw a band on the weekend. You saw this guy's band on the weekend, right?
The weekends I go out. I saw them Saturday night.
Okay.
And I went out Friday. I'm trying to remember what the hell. Yeah, Friday and Saturday. I ain't do nothing Sunday.
Okay.
And then this past Tuesday, I went to open mic night for about 2 hours.
Okay.
But before that, I didn't do too much nothing.
Gotcha.
So
you get out a little bit. That's pretty reasonable.
It's hit or miss.
Right.
It just depends. I'm supposed to be out every weekend. At least I tell people because I got the camera. And so, like, I post band video, like bands that play live.
Okay, I gotcha.
So instead of me just going into a venue and wanting to join music, and because I'm insecure and just sitting there all alone, I can stand in the middle of the damn spot and hide behind the camera and still enjoy the music.
Right.
Kind of. But then when I go home, I can watch it and really, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
So, but now that I got this camera and my videos look better, bands kind of expect me to shoot for them.
I gotcha.
And that's not the type of, it's causing some problems because I don't want that kind of relationship. Like, don't just friend me because of what you think I'm going to bring to you.
Right.
As well as I'm very dope on social media. So, man, I'm a living contradiction, man. I got a lot of polaring shit going on.
Right. Okay. Good to know. How's the bass playing been going? You been jamming out on some of the stuff we talked about last week?
Y'all people, boy, white people, man, jamming out. Y'all got to find a different way of expressing music. Don't say jam. That shit sounds horrible.
What should I say, man?
Something else. I don't know. I hate when I hear that shit.
Should I be like, you've been tearing that shit up this week? Is that what you've been doing?
That, but the word jam and music don't need to be in the same sentence.
Why not?
Because it don't make sense.
To you, maybe.
That's
right.
That's the only perspective I can give.
Right.
Yeah,
but there's many other perspectives, right? That's why we get with people.
But I'm the only one that's important.
To you.
Yeah.
Right?
So stop saying it.
Right?
Oh, man. People say, yeah, we're going to have a jam session. What do you mean a jam session? That's like just taking a bunch of crap and just jamming it. That's not what we doing.
Well, what you been doing?
We create music.
You've been creating any music?
I mean, kind of. It ain't music. I'm
What?
creating frequencies.
Okay. You hear some frequencies come out, but that's about as far as.
Yeah.
Now, you have an amp at home with your bass that you play? No, you just play that as it is. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
Put it in my in Logic.
Oh, okay. You run through your. Gotcha.
My dog.
Gotcha. Which is a great way to do it, because then you can change sounds and do whatever you want that way.
Something like that, yeah.
You record in Logic, anything?
Not bass, but I do.
Oh, okay. So you don't add bass to anything that you record?
I'm just learning how to play.
Well, I mean, you got some good musical knowledge, man. I found out last week you knew quite a bit. I didn't know if you were putting any of that to any of the music you make.
It don't make sense.
What parts of it don't make sense?
All of it.
All of it. Like how to put the bass to it?
How to put any music together.
Oh, okay. So you're talking like if I came up with a drum part and I wanted to put a guitar part to it, how do I do that? And how do I put bass to it? And how does it all come together?
Yes.
Gotcha.
If you say play 3, 5, 6, then I know. Now I know it's 6.
Gotcha. You now know where to put that stuff.
But I don't know how to play it. Like, what do you mean? I know what you want. You want the 3. That's not 5. That's 4. 3, 5,
Yeah.
6.
Yeah. I gotcha.
So I don't know what you want me to do with it. Am I doing or what? I don't know how to build off of it. Like I want to be able to. The numbers I get.
Gotcha.
I want to be able to say. When I'll express the numbers, you should be able to.
Or can we are we talking about putting like the groove or rhythm with the pitches?
And making it so it's pleasable. Like, I don't want to just sit here and go, ooh, that sounds bad. Ooh.
Well, I think back to what you were saying a second ago, where only your perspective matters, right? To you, is that if it's pleasing to you, so we just got to get you there to where you find it pleasing.
Right. So
right.
Because I know whatever is pleasing to me, my audience is gonna love it.
Right, because you're into it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
100%.
I just don't know how to
convey to get there.
Like I hear stuff in my head and I feel things. Like I don't want to just be playing music. I want to express it.
Okay.
So if I'm angry, I want to express it, but then fall back and be mellow or whatever.
Gotcha. So if you hear, like, let's say you hear a bass line in your head, are you able to find it on the bass ever?
I haven't tried.
You never tried that? Like, you're hearing something like, boom, 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 or whatever it is, and you go, well, maybe I can find the first pitch. Are you able to do that at all?
If I'm around, like, when I'm around y'all, yeah.
Okay.
But not on my own.
Not on your own.
It's just blank. It's just noise.
Okay.
It's just a bunch of noise.
Like, no ideas come whatsoever?
Nothing that makes sense.
Okay.
It's like...
And then you're like, that ain't working for me.
Like last week when we were playing.
Right.
I mean, you told me the pattern, and I tried something else, but that's only because off of the vibe I was getting off of it. I was like, okay. It kind of forced... It didn't force me, but it led me to explore something else.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. So maybe we can talk about, because I think that was kind of where we were last week, which sounds, we'll try this path. If it doesn't work, we'll try another path. But using that 12-bar blues format was a great way because it gave you a template, and then, like you said, you kind of found some other things through that. So maybe we'll talk about some couple of templates for you to use to get you started, and then you kind of just start going, well, what happens when I try this? And change it a little bit, or add this to it. That's kind of maybe where we'll go. Does that sound like we can try that? So 12-bar blues was very easy because we were just using the 1, 4, and 5, right? That, Brian? So that 1, 4, and 5, that is like the core template in music. I mean, so many songs use just, I think I mentioned that 3-chord special is kind of something I call them, where they're just using 1, 4, 5, those 3 chords over and over and over again in some order. They don't always have to go 1, 4, 5. It could be 1, 5, 1, 5, 4, 5, and you can kind of play with the order however you want. So that's one way for you to kind of mess with creative, but I know for you, you're probably going to get pretty bored with that.
I think that's actually, that has made music make more sense.
Okay.
Because remembering A flat, B, and all that stuff, man, I ain't got time for all that.
Right.
That shit's simple. 1 through 7, let's go.
Let's go with that. Okay, cool. Because, yeah, we can move that around to everyone. I could just say start on this fret, and then now you know where your 1, 4, 5, and everything is, and you can play in the key with me, and I don't need to say A flat to you. I just go to this number, cool.
Or flat 3. Man.
Exactly.
It's just a half step down.
You got it, which is awesome. So the next one to add, which I kind of mentioned last week, is that 6.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got, 1, and then you can go to the 6. Yep. That's going to be a nice one to go to because you can add that into your playing as far as when you're. This is kind of falling in line to if you were playing with a guitar player or you were creating guitar parts or even drum grooves. It's like that 6 gives you kind of some ideas if you were just. And I'm just going 4, 5. Yep. And I'm just playing. I'm just making something up. I don't know what I'm doing. Just playing with and just using rhythm, and this is where your drumming skills are going to come in using that rhythm. Yep. And just kind of think of yep, and then we can go and you can hit that 6 now, and you can choose what number should we go to next. Doesn't matter to me, pick one. Let's just see what it sounds like.
5.
Okay. Yeah. And we're,
2.
yep. Ah.
I don't like that. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Ah. Yeah. Yeah.
6, 5, 3, 4.
Yeah, okay.
Shoot. 6, 5. Well, so I gotta figure out the rhythm.
Well, I'm saying if you were creating without me, that's really that. I'm just kind of giving you that food for thought, not right
That's
now.
the part where I'm stuck at because I don't know what to do. I always
just kind of straight.
Yeah, I want to get out of that.
Okay, so let's think. So typically, not all the time, but a good rule of thumb is for you to start when you think of any drum set groove that you're playing, even a basic one like boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, boom, ah, that basic groove. The bass guitar can line up with the kick drum, with that boom, 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 boom. So that could be your rhythm. Boom, boom. Right? And you can move to numbers on that rhythm. Yeah?
What does it 6?
Yeah.
6, 5, 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. No, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's no really wrong or right. It's just you do something and go, that was cool. Let me try something else.
All right.
So let's see. You were doing that 6, 5, 3, 4, right? So you go. And I'm going to always play that rhythm. See how I'm just playing that kick drum part? Mm-hmm. It's just how I chose to land on the numbers on that rhythm.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3.
Is that too fast?
1, 2,
That's too
3, 4, 1, 2, 3.
Boom, boom. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Where'd you go?
I did your order of 5, 3, 4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I did that twice. Now I go 5,
1, 2,
3, 4.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
Because remember that kick drum. Ka, boom, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka.
1, 2.
Right? And
Do it again.
so you got boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka.
to the 6?
Right back to the 6. I'm just playing that as a
Oh, okay.
loop, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just playing it as a loop.
3,
Okay, I got you.
4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2,
You got
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that'll work.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Shit, that ain't
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4,
That works.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 1,
There you go.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Ah, I missed that last.
2, 3,
Alright, hold on, I gotta go. I missed.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1,
Yeah.
3, 4,
Ah!
Yeah, that's cool though. That's cool though.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3,
Come on,
4,
man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1,
That's all good. You'll get it.
4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can we do something different?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Like, not different, but
Okay.
that 3-4 ain't working.
Okay. Because I hear you're playing around with some stuff, which is cool. I like. You're exploring, and that's good. So that's. So what are you hearing in your head? Like, are you hearing some kind of walk, like move up to that 4, or what are you trying to? Because I heard you go, and then you went, oh yeah, that boom boom boom. Yep. Something like that. Is that what?
Hold on, don't say it.
Uh-huh.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I'm not. You do.
Play it one more time.
Which part?
What you just did.
The-
3, 4, 5. That's 3, 4, 5.
It's
no,
2.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Oh,
Ah,
okay.
don't tell me.
Sorry, man.
Just play it one more time.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 2.
Which, if you want to play the 2 on the low string, you can, or your open A is your 2. Your open, yep, that same string as your O. You can play it open if you want, and then go open 2, 3. Yep.
Keep going.
I mean, whatever you want to do, man. Yep.
Nice.
Nah, it don't work. Why that 7 don't work? Why
So
does 6 work but the 7 don't work?
7 will, so that becomes down to kind of just the color you want to add. You could play a flat 7 if you'd like, and that might be nice. You might like that and kind of some of the grooves you're. But I mean, or you can not play the 7th at all. I mean, you can play whatever
Just
you
go
want.
straight for the octave.
So the key ones you really want to look for are 1, 4, 5, and 6. Anything else you're adding in that becomes kind of ornamentation, coloration, which makes really cool because you notice when you're putting that 2 in there and doing that sounds nice. You can totally add, but you were ultimately trying to get to the 4. You were walking up. That was the important one, right? And then you've got the 6, which you're coming back to, and then you got to remember your 1, right? So it's kind of cool to do that, and so it's whatever you want to do, man. You can put whatever you want in there, and I like that when you hear something, you go yeah or you're no, because that's how you discover it and keep playing. But you kind of have that core loop. You know, we started with that boom, ga, boom, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, and that turned to yep. Whatever you want to, yeah.
It's
Whatever.
stuck in my head now.
No, you're all good, man. It's whatever you want to do. Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, nice. Nice. Yep. Yeah, that's cool. I like what you're doing, man.
One, 3, 4, and 5 are the core. 1, 4, 5 is the core. of
Yep,
most
1,
songs.
4, 5 is the core. 6 adds in, gives us this nice little option to change. Because you heard my original thing, even when, so I'm going to forget what, well, I don't want to confuse your ear, but if
Go
you
ahead.
were just to play like on the 1, and then 4 to 5, I'm playing a very basic, nothing really, right? And I play this and again to the 4, 5. Now go to the 6. See how it gives you this nice? It gives a little change. And I just went 5, 4. Right? And back up. Right? And walk it down 5. And then you go back home to 1. See, and you can kind of do what you want to do with it. That 6 gives you just some different kind of options. Your ear kind of goes, ooh, there's something different there, which it gave me a little change, and I like that. Instead of just playing 1, 4, 5, which works, but we kind of, you kind of get to the point where I want to hear something else. So that 6 gives you that something else, and you can use it wherever you want and in whatever kind. I'm just using it in a very basic way where I'm walking everything around, but you can jump and do like you're doing where you're adding the notes in between to walk to those notes. Does that make sense when I say that? Like when you didn't go just to the 4, you go from 3 to the 4, and then we can walk up and get me there. You're doing that a lot, which is cool. That's just that extra little stuff, which is what you should do creatively. Something you could do at home is what you just did with your phone is in your DAW is turn on the click and just pick like 1, 4, 5 wherever you are on the bass and start playing to that click. And the best thing I would say for you being a drummer, you know, and me being a drummer, that's where I go, especially with bass, is what are drum grooves that I like and how can I replicate that on the bass? Like not necessarily with pitches, but even just if I stayed on one note and went, and I'm like, all right, I like that groove. How can I make that groove, you know, a little more flavorful by adding different notes? So that's that 4 and 5. You hear that?
So am I supposed to be slapping?
If you want to, you don't have to. I'm sorry, I'm hitting them so hard where it sounds
I
slappy.
mean, you got to apologize. I'm just trying to understand. Like,
That's a
some songs is good to have the slap,
yeah,
and other songs is not. So
exactly. That becomes a creative choice
Yeah.
that you make. You hear it and you're like, I like how that's working out, or maybe you only do it every other time. Like the slap isn't constant. You know, it's just kind of you kind of creatively go, oh, I like that. Yes, and you've got that, which is not a horrible bass groove, right? You can nod to that all day long. And then when you want a little variation on that, you can even and go, yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and see, I like what you're doing because now you're experimenting with the rhythm of it and the groove. Because right, you can do that on the drum set and go boom, ka, boom, 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 ka, boom, boom, ka, boom, 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 ka,
oh shit.
ka, ah, ah, boom, ah, boom, boom, ah, boom, boom, ka, boom, boom, ah, boom, boom, ka. See, it's just taking your drummer background and you're just kind of taking the numbers you know.
I'm listening.
And creating those, you're now, because with bass, what's great for drummers is it gives us a chance to take this melodic world and combine it with our rhythmic world.
Melodic. What do you mean by melodic?
That's the pitches, like this.
Oh, like melody?
Yeah.
That way-
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because music really made is melody along with rhythm,
Rhythm, yeah.
right? And drummers typically are just doing the rhythmic end of it. And I mean, we can be melodic. But that's your
With your toms and cymbals,
crescendos. You are totally right, yeah, man.
I never thought about it like that.
So you now with the bass, you're really having a real clear melodic outlet, but you can put the total rhythms of your drums on there. And see, yeah, and you're playing 3 notes, but you're creating this really great groove that you could sing over, you could rap over, you could play guitar solos over, keyboard stuff, whatever you would want to do.
Shit. High fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's something else I should go to. It's like, hey,
You can come right back to the 4 if you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still using the same pattern notes. You're just playing a nice new groove too, which is nice. Yep. You got it, man. It's awesome. Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
Yep. That's it.
Yo, you see how, like, I just went, I built, like, I talked through the music?
Mhm.
That's what I'm talking about. I want to talk through the music. I didn't have to tell you nothing.
Nothing.
I didn't look at you nothing. I want to be able to talk. My words are not necessarily effective at times.
Right.
So if I can talk through this,
And I feel like you started saying something today.
yeah.
That sounded really
Shit
good,
is
man.
dope. That shit-
Yeah.
that shit is dope.
It was.
Recorded that.
Well, that's the thing is take that thinking of I'm like 1-4-5 is my core. If I want to put the 6 in there, I can. And then using your drum elements for your rhythm aspect with those pitches, those melodies. And you're like, now if I just kind of think of grooves I like you just show that. I mean, it's a cool groove, and you know it's fun. You probably know that from some drumming thing, or you've heard it somewhere, and you kind of just took it and went, okay, well, how do I make this mine? And do it. And that's just what you kind of do during the week is when you pick up the bass, just kind of keeping those simple formats. And like you saw, you were even experimenting, doing really cool stuff. Or sometimes you just hold it, which was nice. That was a very nice kind of rhythmic variation as we had less. So you can kind of play with that all you want, because remember, you don't have to know A flat and all that mess. You could just come to another spot on the neck and go, well, now this is one. know that 4 is right next door. There's 5, and I'm going to find all the notes. And so if you just kind of get tired, yep. If you get tired of playing in that one area of the neck, move it. Because you could play that same thing you were just playing right there, and it's going to sound. Yep.
Man, hold on.
Yep.
That's so much easier than this. This 4 to 6 is easy to get to.
Because the frets are closer
Yeah.
together.
If you move up
Yeah, as you
another
move
two,
up the
it's
neck,
even
they
easier.
get closer and closer and get easier and easier. Yep.
It didn't sound right.
So I'm gonna assume you dig listening to reggae music. Is that something you listen to with any kind of regularity?
If it comes on the radio.
Okay, but you don't ever put it like I'm gonna listen to some Marley today. Or,
Hell no.
okay.
Why
No.
would I listen to Bob Marley? Why would I listen to him?
Well, the only reason I'm saying reggae, whoever it is you listen to, not him.
But I'm asking, but why?
And not only is he just a phenomenal musician and his band is awesome, but what I dig most about reggae music are the bass grooves, because that's to me what drives reggae music. Like the drummer is just kind of a timekeeper, groove keeper with the
A metronome.
That's a good place to be.
right, and it's a great place to be. And the guitar players are kind of doing the same thing with that. They're kind of just keeping a rhythmic time, but the bass player moves and plays some like the grooves that don't boom. Like there's some really great bass lines that you could hear, and that are probably a lot of them are around that 1-4-5 and using that 6 that you'll kind of go, wait a minute, and if you find it by listening to it, you're gonna go, oh, that's pretty close to what I was already doing. So I'm not saying go learn a bunch of reggae tunes. I'm just saying that's kind of just some inspirational stuff. Like you hear it and go, oh, I could probably do something similar to that on the bass if I sat down. I'm trying to think of what is the name of the Marley tune.
What about that? What about that?
Oh, I
just
know.
any of them.
Yeah.
Things. Now that I'm thinking about
Right.
it, that shit is groovy on bass. So
Right.
what are they doing? Like,
He's just using those notes, and he's making his own grooves. He's kind of being
in the same scale, like
at the
the
same
same
scales.
chord. It's just the way he's grooving it.
Mm-hmm. He's grooving around that chord.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
One of my favorite bass lines. Like, God, I can't think of the name of the song right now. I'm gonna have to look.
Fake fan, Steven. Fake fan.
No, I can hear him.
What is big fan?
That
Oh.
I listen to it, but
He
don't know the
listens
names.
to
I'm
it, but doesn't
horrible
know
with
the
song names,
It's like a joke, really.
and there's so many bands I like that I'm like I couldn't tell you the name of most of their songs.
No, it's okay. And nowadays you just shuffle on like whatever music
Yeah.
you listen to. You don't even worry about like the albums that you're on anymore.
Now I understand why black bassists play up here. It's so much easier.
It is
And I
way
understand
easier.
why white bands hate when black bassists play up here. Because, well, when they play up here, because it's like, you
It's-
can't really play.
It's more
Bass.
for the fact is that they find the pitch like it's higher up, so it matches the same frequency as the guitar is. So it's not like
you
a
lose your
col-
bottom end though.
Yeah,
You
so
do,
that's
yeah.
why they say that's why like it's not like a color thing. It's more of like they want to color the sound differently. They want to keep the bass in the lower ends, and you don't want to play up high all the time because when you do play up high, it's a new interesting sound for the bass. So try maybe starting low and then sliding up high, and it adds a different like variation to your bass playing.
I want deeper. I don't want higher.
Right.
I want deep.
And do what you need to do, man.
Yeah, you got it, man.
I don't know yet. In
You
time.
getting there?
By August, I'll have my bass and set up.
Okay.
I know I will.
There you go.
Sounds like a good plan, man.
What time is it? Oh.
Time for
Oh,
you to get a
wow.
watch.
Yeah, you're right. It's just about 12 o'clock. But that's what, go home this week and play around with that, man. Think about the grooves you like drumming wise.
How much was this? You know?
That was maybe like $200.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, heck, you could probably go to a pawn shop and see what they got carrying wise, just for something to work for you for a little bit.
Yeah, man. And this, I mean, that's just everything's kind of
Balanced out. It's
balanced
like a
out,
volume.
but
I don't hear the difference.
are you all? Yeah, one of those is a tone knob, which all
I think
the
it's that one.
Yep, and then that's your volume.
But I don't hear a difference in
It's you hear how it gets a little more muddy and not as clear.
this. Oh.
That's what the tone knob is doing. You hear that?
Oh, yeah. So I just gotta get a different bass. I don't see this thing that's too sharp sounding. Like I want
Gotcha.
something more warm and inviting.
So
Like I ain't trying to make you feel uncomfortable, but every time I play bass, I want women to get excited.
I hear you.
I officially feel uncomfortable. Now I must leave the room.
She's getting.
Drink you some water, you'll get over it.
But no, I hear you, man.
Ooh, I might get this amp. This
It's
is
a good
Fender.
amp, man. It's a little Fender bass. I forget what the brand of it is. It's the Rumble 100.
Okay.
And if you want for that warmer color, you should check out the Schecter series.
The what?
The Schecter
Schecter. What do you mean by Schecter?
Schecter series.
It's a brand,
bass.
a bass
brand.
guitar like Fender is a brand.
Yeah.
Spell that, please. Hold on, wait.
S
Oh,
C.
wait.
I don't even know if I can spell it, to be
I can
honest.
spell it.
Where you
S,
going?
you
Yeah.
ready? SCHECTER.
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 Yeah.
Schecter guitar. Schecter bass.
Mm-hmm. Now, and what you'll find out, which, gosh, you could go at lengthy discussions about gear and equipment, is
The 5 strings.
Oh
It's-
yeah, there's even 6 and 8 string basses.
You know what
But-
I'm saying? Like these, I bought a 4-string
Mhm.
last year and I paid $7 for it, and their 5 strings are $7.
yeah, so money you spend will equate into just the hardware and electronics, which are all going to affect the sound of the instrument.
Yeah.
So it's just good stuff to research and even listen, like go on YouTube and like if like say Schecter, the brand, if they list any artists that happen to play their stuff, you can go on YouTube and search that artist and you can
Yeah.
hear
Right.
and go, I like that sound, or
Yeah.
nope, that's not at all what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Next. And so that's just a great way to do it.
And they have variation in pickups because you know those 2 little black things that are on the neck. Different basses have variants in pickups that give you different tones that you may be looking for. So, yeah.
Oh, like the Ibanez joint. It's got the fat.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, there
right.
you go.
Yeah, you're right.
I see what you're talking about.
That changes the tone too.
But yeah, that's stuff to be looking for if you're looking for a warmer tone.
And the 5 is just gonna give me a B. That's gonna give me like a lower.
Yeah, it's a low B
Yeah,
string
it's
that
just a
gives
low
you a
B.
lower end.
Is it the same thing if if this was a 5-string? Is it the same concept that 1-4 like that?
Yeah, everything is the same. They just put a low B string above it, but all these strings stay the
No,
same.
he's asking if he was to do the 1-4-5
But
shape,
not
starting
on the
B
low
string.
B, it would not work out. You'd have to start on
So I got
the second string.
So I got to.
Make a new
If I
shape.
got a B, if I bought a 5-string, I would have to relearn bass.
Not relearn, just your shifting and your thinking is what would have to happen, is to know when to go to that low B string and how it works.
So for me to play warm, should I just get a warmer 4-string?
I would stick with the 4-string, yeah, and find a sound of a 4-string that's as warm as you want it to be, because you can find that.
The amount of strings doesn't change the tone of it.
Yeah.
Like if you want the warmer sound, you can get that with any string bass.
But I'm still going to be able to have the bottom end
Yep.
that I want.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
So why do people have a 5-string then?
just
because-
for range of motion, really.
Well, it's for more melodic play. It extends your range of choices of notes that you're going to play, and not like if I can only get it up high up here. I wish I had it lower, but it's below this. It's the pitch is lower than that string. They want that next string to get that next set of tones. That's all it really is.
That's what's up. All right.